All right. Hello, everyone. I checked
Hello.
some prompts here and there just to get everyone engaged a little bit. Hi, Simai. How are you doing?
Hello, Jude. All good here. How about you?
Yeah, all good here as well. Basically, same time zone, right? Same country,
Same city.
same city. All right. Yeah, I mean, we can get started. The session is gonna be recorded anyway, so anyone that joins later, they can rewatch it. Welcome everyone to another Workshop Wednesday session. We want to add some pizzazz for this session as well. We're gonna have these sessions almost every month, so there's gonna be some housekeeping rules that I'll be sharing with you. But this session will be about building your localized self-service experience in under 45 minutes, and our customer support manager Simai is going to show you, give you the whole demo, and tell you more about localization and why you would need it. Um, so let's keep the engagement going. Just some things before we get started. So we'll be asking a couple of questions throughout the session. So if you're just listening, you can just keep an eye on the screen from time to time. We can begin with one question right now, and it's just out of curiosity as well. Uh, I'll start this poll here. So, how many languages is your platform? So, do you have one? Is it just like in English? Two, maybe bilingual? I grew up in Canada, so usually there's like English and French. Three, or maybe like more than four. Awesome. So we'll keep the polls running, and this will be a workshop. So it's better to keep an eye on the session, see how the settings, all the tips and tricks that Sima will be sharing with us today, and any questions that you have, please share them in the chat, and we'll leave the last 10-15 minutes of the session to get your questions answered. And for any questions that we are unable to answer here, we'll reach out to you, and to make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for. And finally, right after the webinar, you'll also receive an email with a webinar feedback form. So this way we can continue giving you like the content that you need in order to succeed with user guiding. All right, let me stop the poll here. All right. Katie asked, like, which platform? Just if you have a SaaS, if you have an application, or maybe your website, or even your company, right? If you guys have an audience that is like that you have to like provide multi-language support to, or any kind of material. That's kind of the question. Awesome. So most of the attendees here, you do provide just like in one language. Some have more than four, and some have two, which is interesting throughout the way. We'll see how we can, help you create multilingual, localized content to help your users succeed. All right, Simai, take it away.
All right. So let's start by showing how our day looks like. So we're going to be talking about what language management is, or what the localization is, and what are the differences. And I'm going to be telling you why you actually need it, and I will mention some of the key benefits. We're going to be showing you some real world examples from our own users that are initiating their language management, and we're going to be sharing some results. And right after that, I will just walk you through localization and how we set up segments, how we set up the languages, and how we use those languages while creating our materials. So, and in the end, as Jude mentioned, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will cover them right after our demo. And if you don't have time, of course, we will just follow up with them. So let's just start with language management. So as you can see, language management is about organizing, translating, and also maintaining all of your content across multiple languages. It's like translating your content. And the localization is adapting these contents to the user's language, their culture, their expectations, their use cases, and it's something more than just translation. For example, translating a UI text or help article is just pure translation, but adapting those texts, those examples like currencies or date formats into their cultures, their regions, maybe their countries or just languages is localization. And it also includes adjusting the tone or support flow for cultural fit. As you can imagine, you cannot give the same solution or same service to two users from Asia and Europe, for example. So it depends on the region, on their even currencies. So why do we need it? Because if we do not pay some effort to the localization, our users might struggle to understand our features. They would spend more time on our platform to just explore and understand our features. Also, it has a direct impact on the support requests. You can see some spikes in just because of the language barriers. We have seen that too as user guiding before localization. And you can adopt way poorly in non-English markets too. So after localization, of course, you can create some seamless product experience for all of your users. Your support load will get lower because they will have a better self-service there, and you will have a stronger presence in the global markets too. And some key benefits for localization. You can scale your self-service. We have seen even in our company repetitive tickets reducing even by up to 50%. It's a huge number, I know, but it's possible. You can go global faster. Even you don't need a huge support team for your growth. So everything will be self-serviced. You can boost your user satisfaction. You can expect higher customer satisfaction scores or NPS scores from these kind of localized help. And in the case of AI assistants, as it will just adapt itself to the user's language, you will have like 24/7 real-time help on your platforms. So these are just key benefits. We can just go on and on. Here are some examples from our users. I'm not going to name any names here, so they will just be mentioned here in their respective um corporate environment, let's say. So one of our SaaS company, B2B SaaS companies, reduced their tickets only in EMEA by 42%. And they grew their product adoption by 28% in only 3 months. We had a big tech company. Their help article engagement increased triple times only in APAC, and their customer satisfaction jumped more than 15% in AI after they localized their AI assistant. And another example is a fintech company. They reduced their onboarding time by 40% for their non-English users, of course. And they expanded to new two regions without two new regions, I'm sorry, without adding extra support staff, keeping their team as a core team. But they started expanding. So without further ado, we can just go on to our workshop, and I will show you how you do this stuff actually for your platform. And before that, maybe Jude, you may want to start the second poll
Yeah.
about how you are actually utilizing it.
Yes, definitely. So while you get set up for sharing your screen, I just started another poll here. So just asking you guys if you're localizing any of your user guiding material. So if you are, we would like to know if you're targeting multiple languages, if you might be considering it, if you're not, or maybe you're not even considering it. So maybe you just want to learn more about how potentially you can use localization, or some different ways that new tips and tricks for kind of increasing that self-service support in your local region as well. All right.
Yeah, while you're just submitting your answers, I just opened my panel. Okay, I hope you can see it. Okay, great. So I'm going to be looking at this screen. I'm sorry about that. This is a larger screen, and I'm going to be talking with you. No worries about that. So this is our panel, as you all know. And the first thing, when you sit and just decide that you want to create your languages and create your materials for those languages, the first thing you need to consider is creating a segment, because you want to segment your audience based on those languages, and you want to decide how you are defining that segment. So we go to the users page here. Okay, this is not expected. Okay, so it's working fine. So I just keep the language attribute here for your convenience, but you can add all of the attributes here from this menu. Um, this account is a playground account, so we don't have the user identification enabled for this one, and we're not sending any language attributes or any custom attributes. So I'm going to be using this browser attribute that we provide by default just to showcase. But you may want to consider sending your custom attributes, defining your users' location, their region, their countries, or their languages, or the website's language. So, for example, my browser can be in English, but if I use your platform in French language, because you have the option, I should be added into the French segment. So just bearing this in mind, bearing that you can send your user attributes for this specific purpose. Let's just select this one. So I'm going to be segmenting the French users for this use case. You see, I have 55 people, and if their browser session is changed to English, I will be losing that person to the English segment. So it's dynamic, it's not static. So you can just trust this segment. I'm going to name it as French users. And I'm going to save it. So this segment will be really crucial. So I think this is the first step that you need to do. And after that, we go to the settings to add our languages. So under the localization option here, we have all the languages that we had listed here. So to add a new language, you can just select it from the drop-down menu. And here is also crucial. If you don't select the segmenting criteria, the language that you choose will be dependent on the browser attribute by default. But if you create a user segment just for this purpose, I would advise you to just use this segment and attach the language to the user segment. And you will see the segments populated here too. Anytime you want, you can just delete the language or change those settings. Maybe you may want to create another segment and attach it to it. You can just do so. So my language is also ready now. Let's just start with the guides. Guides and hotspots have a different nature of localization. than the rest of the materials, like the resource centers, checklists, or product updates, knowledge base, AI assistant. They're all different. So I created a guide here, and I'm going to use this as an example. I just go into its configuration, and you see there is this localization option here. If it's available in your account, because it depends on your subscription too, you can just turn it on, and you can see all the languages that you added in the settings here. So for guides and hotspots, I want to share a best practice here, because you have to make sure that your guide is ready to be translated and to be localized and to be set live. Because if you want to edit the guide later on, you have to remove all those uploaded translations and translate it again after editing. So um, we do not let you edit your guide after it's localized, for consistency purposes, of course. So it's just a one-step guide that I'm going to show you. The first thing I do is downloading its content. I'm just going to open it separately, copy it, and I'm using this kind of editor. Oops. Okay. So this let me edit all kinds of CSVs and save it or download it, upload it, however I like. So this is really handy, but you can use Excel, or if you're comfortable, you can use numbers too. I just paste everything here. Okay. So in the first column, you will see all of the IDs of the steps and the text. If I just give it indents, you can see it here. So all kinds of adjustments will be seen here. For example, this is a bold text. That's why it's on another line here, as you can see. So the second column is all the text, all the links, the hyperlinks that I added, the button texts or the images that I added in the guide. And the third column is the one that we need to play with and translate our content. For example, you may want to create or add another image for your French guide than the English one, or you may want to keep the same. You can just change the image link here or keep the same. As I don't know French, I'm just going to type it like this for you. And every line should be translated. You shouldn't keep anything blank, if it's not blank, of course. So I'm just going to type FR. So it means I'm just translating it. Okay, my translation is ready. Now I'm ready to download it and upload it to the user guiding panel. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the panel and find my language here. So I do that for each language separately. We do not use the same file and create new columns and add more languages. So for each language, you need to create a new CSV. So it's going to be this one. And when I upload, everything's ready now. You can just save and publish your changes, and you can preview it in the Chrome extension here, the localized version. And as I mentioned before, if you want to edit the guides and maybe create something from scratch, add another step, etc., you need to delete this, or you can just turn the localization off, and turning it off will just delete everything that you created so far. So watch it. So this is how we are localizing the guides, and it goes the same for the hotspots too. You can just go in, go to the localization, turning it on, downloading and uploading the translated version. So it's kind of the same. So I'm not going to walk you through the same thing for the hotspots, but I'm sure you get the idea from the guide's example.
Sima, is it possible to increase the size of the screen a little bit, or like
Oh,
zoom in a little bit?
okay, sure. Is
Yeah,
it better?
yeah, I think that's great. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Jude. I'm just seeing it perfectly, so I didn't realize. Uh, so, okay. And after this one, let's just create a knowledge base in our French language. So the first thing we should do is, even after creating our knowledge base in our default language, you can do that. You go to the page settings of the knowledge base and go to the languages tab and add your language. So you can even make it your default language, or keep it as a secondary one, and you can add as many as you like, or as many as you have the allowance for. So after this one, the best practice here is changing all the texts for the French version as well. So as you can see here in the preview, the header, all the titles or the results and etc., they will be in English by default. So you need to localize these as well. So you can see the changes here. So I'm not going to do everything, also because I don't know French. But let me show you where you need to adjust and translate. Not this one. You can add another footer for each language. This one. So after localizing this is your settings for the French language, and that's kind of it. But you need to go to your articles, and now you can see that there are no translations for your articles now. So all the English ones are published, but you need to translate them into French too. Let me just show you an example. For example, this one, this is an English article. So what I do is you can also see it's not translated here. You can just click here and you will see it's just empty. You just add a description and you translate all your article here. So you save your changes and publish them. So after publishing them, you can just view it. Okay, this is your French article, so you can preview it on the live site. This is how we're managing the articles. And also I'm going to show you how you can find the ones that are not translated for your convenience. For example, language is French and status is not published. Oops. Okay, so you can see all the articles you need to translate here for your convenience. So it's easy to just filter them out and take action accordingly. And on that phase, I want to show you how a translated knowledge base looks like. So this is our knowledge base, as you know, at UserGuiding.com. So all of our categories and subcategories are in English by default, but there's that language option here. You can just change the language and see the categories, subcategories, and also the articles localized. So this is the end result. So you can also explore it on your own. You should explore it on your own. We just advise strongly that you log into our help center and use it effectively because all of your questions can be answered here. Uh, so this is actually it for the knowledge base and the settings and post post translations are the same for the product updates page. So I'm just you. So there's this language option here. You can add French. You can make it default. And then you go to your posts, your product updates posts, and you can just translate them. You see, English one is here. You can just translate everything into French and just post it and publish it in French as well. Oops. And you can preview it easily. It just opened the. Okay, this is my text, the French one. So the behavior is the same for the knowledge base and the product updates. And the behavior, the functionality is the same for guides and the hotspots. And these are the language managements that we offer. And I'm going to mention the ones here too, because the widgets, I mean the checklists and resource centers, and also the surveys do not have language management options. I'm sorry. Instead, we just advise you to just clone your survey, for example, or your checklist and create new material, new survey with the same context but in different languages. It will also make it easier to see the reactions or see the interactions in the reportings. It will be better for you because we, as you can see, we do not have the language option. It goes for checklists and resource centers too, but I'm going to show you how resource center works because everything that we create here is it can be used as a resource in the resource center because it's like a hub. Okay, let's say I have an English resource center here and I want to create something in French. I mean, I want to create the same resource center in French. I just clone it. And this time I need to pay attention to the configuration because the first, what we did in the first place, we created a segment. So we use that segment here instead. Oops. So only the French users, I mean the language French users will see this. Or if you have like different domains or subdomains for French, you can just change the targeting too. But you need to make sure that this is a French resource center and I am showing it to the right users. And the second thing that we do is going to the editor and changing everything to French. You see, it's just changing in the preview too. All these search functions and everything. And if you use your user guiding knowledge base and connect it with your resource center, it can bring the results from that selected language as well. So if they ask for MAU, for example, here, not the English article will pop up, but the French one will. And you can just localize all the module names here too, like this one. And you can see it applying on the preview as well. So everything will be French here, and you need to do that. And on the tabs, you can change the knowledge base or product updates or AI assistant that you add here and localize their names too. As you can see, it's changing, or the product updates, the name is changing. So, and the AI assistant too. I'm gonna come to that later on. Um, and the AI assistant became French as well. So this is how you do localization for your resource center. And the same goes to checklists and the surveys as well. Hope everything's going well so far. Um, so let's continue with the AI assistant. Okay. So as the product updates and knowledge base, we also have a language option for the AI assistant. So when you're setting it up or after you set it up and you want to go global, you can add your languages here like this. And you can also make it default for your AI assistant as well. And here you need to care for one more thing because you need to change or localize the name of the AI assistant, its placeholder. It's like optional suggested questions. So you need to localize everything here too. Like this one as well. You can change all of these uh, and make it sound more local. Every text on the AI assistant can be localized or can be changed. So these are the default ones that we offer to you. You can change the fallback action for each language as well. So for example, the help center can be the French one. And you can change the text here too. The boosters, the conversation history, so the welcome message. So everything can be translated into French. And after that, after localizing your widget, you need to go to your sources and make sure that you're adding your sources in that language as well. So, for example, for the knowledge base integration, in the AI assistant, you don't have to worry about it because we are just syncing all of your content from your user guiding knowledge base, regardless of the language. So as long as you add new articles, we just add them and sync them here. For the external URLs, maybe you have French content in some pages of your website, you can add those. Or you can add text snippets, PDF files, or you can add the guides that you translated before. So you just make sure that you have the information in the correct languages. And yeah, you just save and publish your changes. So I think that's it. We covered everything. Let's just start from the beginning and just summarize everything. The first thing you need to do is creating your segment for those languages or that region's uh, audience. So you create your audience first, then you use your audience in the uh, language setup because you want to just connect them and just decide who is going to see that localized version. And then you start localizing your content, translating your content, starting from guides and hotspots. They have the localization feature in a different way. You need to download the CSV file, translate everything yourself, and upload it again. I talked a lot. And for product updates, knowledge base, and AI assistant, you all have the language settings option, and you need to change the texts for each language. And for surveys, checklists, and resource centers, you need to clone them, clone the original ones, and do your translations yourself. So that's actually it. Uh,
Thanks, Simai. That was very informative.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop sharing and maybe just answer some questions if
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of questions actually, but we did get some interesting ones. Because I think you did like a really good job at explaining it.
I couldn't check the chat to be honest. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you can, I can answer them.
No worries. There were some like l- questions, simple questions that I was able to answer. Um, but let's see here. Mike had a question. It's out of here. About the resource center being translatable in the future. Do you know anything about that? Is it a request that we get often?
We do get it really often, and we just escalate it to the product team. I know it's in their roadmap, but I cannot provide any estimated time of arrival for that. But yeah, it's on the table.
Cool. Good to know. And Alexis had a question also. She missed that part earlier, but maybe you had mentioned something about like switching off a guide that it would be deleted. I think what she's referring to um, is it like when you do the localization on a guide, then you can't edit it, right?
Yes, that's right. You cannot edit it because you edit a guide through the extension, and the extension just blocks everything because there are two versions of it, if that makes sense. So if you do not remove the translated one, it will not allow you to make that edit. But you can just delete the translated one, keep on editing, save, and download the CSV file and translate again and upload again.
Mm, got it. So it would make. What happens if you like duplicate it? Is it the same? Like it still won't allow you to do like any changes?
If you duplicate it, you will duplicate it with the translated version
Mm,
too. So you need to remove the translated version, or you can just switch it off, as Alexis mentioned here. If you switch the localization option off, it will delete all of the translated versions. It will, of course, keep the default one. The original one will be there until you delete it.
mhm. And is this for all the material or just like the guides and the hotspot?
The guides and the hotspots.
Okay. So the resource center would be fine, the knowledge base would be fine, AI
Yes,
would be
yes.
fine. Okay, cool. Let me see if there's any other questions. There was one, Baljit had a question about eh, how do you add the new images in the CSV file? Where do we need to host it?
Yeah, if you're really hosting them in your database, you can share the links there. Um, so it should be indexable, of course, because we will just grab the image from there and display it.
Hmm, interesting. I didn't know that we could do that. Good to know. Uh, I mean, guys, if you have any other questions, I'm glad that we were able to answer everything, I guess. I did have like some questions out of curiosity for you, Simai. In the meantime, as you've been, like customer support manager for a while now with user guiding, what was like the most common user mistakes that you've seen when it comes to like localization and translation?
Um, no, nothing after we introduced the language option for example, the knowledge base, AI assistant, and product updates. They're pretty straightforward, but I have seen some users are struggling with guides and hotspots, like downloading the file, trying to upload it in a new format, try to just add new stuff that wouldn't match with our format. So it is more open to like error, let's say,
Mm,
and it can be a bit challenging in the first place. But when you just start doing it, it just uh, goes really straightforward.
yeah.
But it takes a bit of time to get used to it.
And we have many like help articles
Yeah,
for that
of
as well.
course.
Amazing. For everyone that's still with us here, we do have. Let me see if I can add it. All right. You can see there's a button in the middle of the page here. We have a webinar coming up in 2 weeks. It'll be with two of our user guiding users. One in the healthcare industry that's been using user guiding with like more than 5 languages being localized, and the other is with an e-commerce company that's been using user guiding as well for like decreasing their like support ticketing, and heavily using user guiding for like support purposes. So if you're interested in that, you can click on the link and you can register here. It'll be on the 27th of August. I'll be moderating it, and it'll be a very interesting session. It won't be a workshop, but it'll be a webinar so you guys can also understand how other companies, big companies, are using user guiding in, in a vast multiple different use cases, to achieve success in their company. uh, I'll just keep.
I see one more question
Oh
that
yeah.
I think we should add here, about the um, from Alexis. Can I add it
Oh
here?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can. It's this one. So if the users can choose what language they want the guide in, it's not possible. We do not give that option to the user. This is why actually we are creating user segments in the first place. So if the user changed the language of the website, for example, to Portuguese, they will see the guide in Portuguese because this is their initial choice. So this is why actually we are suggesting to send custom user attributes so that you can define what language you are showing to each user. So it's not up to the user, but they are already making a selection, or they're using an English browser. It means that they're comfortable with it. So you can use the browser attribute in English and you can show the guide in English.
There's lots of different ways of like tackling or providing different languages. Like I know like the user identification is one part of it, the URL is one part of it.
Yep.
um, I know there is also this other option of, if you wanted to provide the option for the user, then there could be like a guide with multiple options, and then this could be like an attribute if they click on one of those options, and then they will be a part of that segment that clicked on a button in the guide. Correct.
Yeah,
All right.
correct.
I mean, we could just chill for a while. I do have some other questions if you don't mind.
I'm out of breath.
Get your water. It's okay. Um, because the webinar that we're gonna have in 2 weeks, I was really surprised to see that they're like using 5 languages, like Italian, uh, Deutsch, English, Arabic, probably French. We do have another question actually. Um, if you change the by Mike, there we go. If you change the language on your web page or the browser, will this immediately change the language of the user guiding? So I think he means like the material.
Hmm. If the material is live and displaying at that moment, it might need a refresh, a reload of the page.
Mm.
If the page is reloading already, for like, I don't know, it depends on the structure of the website. When you change the language, sometimes it doesn't reload, but if it reloads, the materials will just pop up in the correct language. But if you're asking, for example, if you're on the step 3 of a guide and change the language, no, it wouldn't start from step 3. It would just start afresh.
Yeah. But it depends also on the like configuration of the guide,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Okay. I hope that answered your question, Mike. Keep them coming. All good. Uh, oh, there's a big one. Here you go, Alexis.
Oh.
In the US, we have our. Here, I don't know if it would show the full text actually. In the US, we have our service fully in English, but there are some users who would be comfortable with a guide in Spanish. So it would be interesting to offer a guide in Spanish as supplemental. Our service is B2B to C. So while the consumers would still want English, many businesses may want Spanish. That's very interesting. I mean, in your like platform itself, is it in English, or is it? Do you also like provide the option for Spanish, Alexis? I mean, what would you suggest in this case, Simai?
Um, like the previous question, if everything is in English and they want to create materials on Spanish as well, depending on their choices. Yeah,
Mm.
they can just create a single guide like a model and put some buttons and ask them how they wanted to be onboarded or just use the materials. And you can just track that click actions. We can share the Help Center article for that, and create a user segment for the ones who wanted to be onboarded or use the materials in Spanish, and create that Spanish language with that segment that they will create based on the click actions. Let me just find the article.
Makes sense because I know in our onboarding as well, like, and this is something that you can utilize as a like best practice as well, is when a new user logs in, we can give them the option of, which use case would you like to
Mhm.
discover first? Would it be like the knowledge base or self-service or the user onboarding or the product adoption or the analytics? And then based off of that, we give them different tours. Nice. Okay.
There's
Uh,
another one.
Octavio. Although the functionalities in English are quite intuitive, would it be possible to have a Portuguese version?
I suppose you're asking for a Portuguese panel, kindergarten panel, right? It's actually not in the plans as far as I know. We're still keeping it in English because we're just putting a lot of effort and time and money on improving our functionalities. So, as far as I know, we will not invest on localizing the panel.
Yes,
But if I'm not correct, I will just reach out to you, Otavia.
definitely. We have a large base in Brazil, right? A
Mm,
Portuguese speaking one. So,
yeah.
uh, I mean, it makes sense. But yeah, as you said, now that we're adding many features, it's a really fast paced industry like this. The whole AI stuff. So we're still trying to uh, refine everything that we have. Yeah. So
Yeah, in the past year, we just launched knowledge base,
into
product updates, AI
localization.
assistant. They
Yeah.
are huge, huge investments, of course. Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
awesome. Um, yeah, as I was saying, Simai, like, so this user that will be a speaker in the next webinar. So they're using like localization, for like five languages. What have you stumbled upon a user that has like more than that? Like, what is the maximum amount that you've seen people like using localization for?
Um, I actually remember a user with 5 or 6 languages already. So they were going global, and they started with 2.
Mm.
Uh, and they invested a lot of time and effort on user guiding materials too. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet that helped them as well, like to encourage them to like go global because then they're able to onboard many people without hiring new people that speaks that language. Makes sense. Um, and the final question that I would have for you is like, what is the best practice that you would give for companies that are looking to maybe start implementing some localized material?
I'm sure they already did their research and maybe surveyed their users. But if not, I would recommend them to run a user guiding survey on their platform and ask if there's a need.
Mm,
First, analyzing their current situation, and then start with simple guides
mm,
and see their interactions. So if it's huge, there's a huge demand, I would create resource centers as well. Resource center is like the first go-to place because it's like a knowledge hub for everyone, regardless of the language. So they can just go there and find everything that they would need, including guides and all other materials, URLs, knowledge base. So I would start with that if there's a need.
makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I know like the resource center is like my favorite feature
I
that we
love it too. Yeah.
have. It's so cool. And I love showing it to people when I was like doing like sales demos. It's like this is I would give them like the guide and then the hotspots and shit. I'm like, but wait, there's more. And then there's like the resource center. And it's like you can combine everything in this one little tab that doesn't take any space.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like a website on its own.
yeah. But without like having the need to go and find it somewhere else. And
Yep.
It's
correct.
definitely cool. Um, Other than that, yeah, there's I think we're good on time. We're good on the content. Just final remarks. First of all, like thank you so much, Simai, for giving us this amazing workshop. I definitely like. I was struggling to understand more about like localization, but it definitely makes sense to me now. And thanks, Alexis. You will get an email with like after 15 minutes of this webinar with the replay, the rewatch if you want to watch it again, and the form. So we want to give you, many live events, workshops, webinars, bring in some, speakers in industries that you would like, even in Portuguese, Otavio, as you know. So keep an eye out on your inboxes and let us know. Fill in the form what you would like us to provide you with in the next workshop or webinar, and we will, try our best to do that. Thank you, everyone. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks. It
Simai.
was a pleasure. Yeah. Thanks a lot for listening and for your time. See you in the next one then.
All right. See you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.